So I literally just got done recording this video and a brand new piece of concept art for Jurassic Park Survival came out featuring Maya Joshi in the river raft sequence from the Michael Crichton novel. It looks pretty sick, only this time she's being pursued by velociraptors. That's right, more than one instead of the Tyrannosaurus Rex. I have no idea what this whole gameplay sequence is going to look like, but I'm not gonna lie guys, this is actually it's shaping up to be way more interesting than I thought it would be. What's going on guys? Hope you're all doing well. Now for today's video, we've actually got a brand new look at Jurassic Park Survival after the very disappointing information that came out of the Summer Games Fest. No trailer came out for the game, and unfortunately, it looks like from this article, it is not going to be coming out in 2024. Most likely, it'll either be next year to coincide with JP7, or maybe even all the way back to 2026. It's really hard to tell, but if we jump into the article right here, we've got some brand new looks at the game. The first image happens to be of the Tyrannosaurus. This is alpha in-game. It's actually a screenshot, and it looks relatively menacing, all things considered. And that's not all. We actually get Mr. DNA inside of the little moving theater from the movie, and a piece of concept art that's going to be really interesting to see how this looks set one day after the 1993 incident. Don't worry guys, there's a lot more information in the article to go along with the plot, characters, and just what we can expect to see that's brand new, including species. Speaking of which, there is more than one velociraptor still on Isla Nublar. Now, I don't know how this works in canon, whether or not these are some of the raptors that were bred in the wild and actually just got older, but if you ask me, they're clearly taking inspiration from the Telltale game, which we ironically just got done talking about yesterday with Dennis Nedry's corpse. That scene that was, shown off in concept art exclusively at E3 and on the side questing website that, was ultimately nowhere near as graphic in the final product. Anyways, the article goes on to say that at the Game Awards last December, Jurassic Park reared its scaly head to the audience in the monstrous form of Jurassic Park Survival. It's a new adventure game, no relation to the canceled early 2000s action game of the same name, made by Saber Interactive in partnership with Universal. At the time, they didn't share much detail, but today, Saber and Universal have given IGN an exclusive peek into their rendition of Isla Nublar. New characters, new locations, new dinosaurs, and all. If we scroll a little bit further down, we've got from Melchior and Hollis Leak, we learned that we'll not only be revisiting iconic locations from the 1993 film, but we'll also be seeing brand new ones. This particular setting allowed the developers to explore places that were only implied in the film, but never seen. Distant buildings, places where visitors were meant to stay the night, and so forth. And the locations that we're familiar with may have been changed by the aftermath of the film. We have been working with all our stakeholders on what the island would have looked like after the events of the film, Melchior said. This includes areas we all love, like the visitor center and the T-Rex paddock, but also what we didn't see, things that were not part of the tour or got cut off by the storm. Those on the island were supposed to get there overnight, so what does that mean? What would they have seen and where would they have stayed if everything went according to plan? That is where we are starting. One thing is certain, the island is as much a part of the story as the characters and dinosaurs, which sounds pretty interesting to me. Hopefully this will make logical sense with the movie itself and not break anything like the Telltale game did. Even though I actually have some pretty positive stuff to say about the 2011 game, I'm just kind of looking forward to coherency and consistency, you know what I mean? The article goes on to say that speaking of the characters and the dinosaurs, it sounds like we'll see new ones of both. Hollis Leak specifically refers to new characters, plural, meaning more than just scientist Maya Joshi. And in response to a question about special dinosaurs in the game that aren't in the movie, Melchior uncryptically replied with, "Life finds a way." So there definitely going to be some species that are not in the original Jurassic Park film. My guess is we could be looking at Stegosaurus, proceratosaurus, or maybe even metriacanthosaurus. Now, those are dinosaurs that were on the field guide in the original Jurassic Park brochure, but we didn't see them in honestly any of the films, so those would be really cool to see finally unveiled in this video game. But we could also see something like a Baryonyx, which was introduced in Fallen Kingdom, and we know did live on Isla Nublar, or maybe even something else that was in the Telltale game, like Troodons. They could even do the herrerasaurus, which would be a very fun idea. And if they don't do any of that, they could even bring some stuff in from the novel, like like Pterodactylus, Styracosaurus, who knows? I'm honestly really excited to see what this game does because I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm just excited to see something different every once in a while from the Park Builder, Camp Cretaceous cartoon, all that. I just want something cool, you know what I mean? Further in the article it says, as for what you'll be doing as Maya, we still haven't seen gameplay yet, but Hollis Leak offered this explanation of how exploring the island will work. The island is full of different types of terrain, many of them quite challenging. The player will need to use caution and planning in some cases, checking routes in advance. There will also be times when the player will need to move very carefully through an environment to avoid the attention of certain predators. Maya, the main character, is neither superhuman nor action hero. There are real risks for her around every corner, and the player will need to use a mixture of intelligence, grit, and patience to survive the island's many challenges. So this is really interesting for me because we know that if you're dealing with velociraptors, and we know there's more than one now, you may have to actually outsmart them like Lex did in the first movie. We know they attack from the sides, so maybe that's something that'll be a gameplay mechanic in the video game. There's also Tyrannosaurus vision. Their vision's based on movement, so maybe if they do see us and we stand still, there's like a time limit to like they lose us or something, you know, that could be fun. As for the other species, it's hard to really tell. The Dilophosaurus do spit venom, so we would be kind of evading projectiles if that's going to be in the game. Other than that, it's difficult to say. Maybe they've got the whole red stripe on the Jeep thing for the Triceratops in line. That would be fun. We're gonna have to wait and see. Now, the article continues saying, there's still plenty we don't know about Jurassic Park survival, and there's certainly pressure on it to nail the nostalgic vibe of the film. Melchior says that Jurassic Park is the most requested game for Universal to make. Sure, there's the Jurassic World Evolution series from Frontier Developments, but the management sim rendition of the franchise is a very different beast from a single-player adventure. Unfortunately, we may still have a while to wait, as Universal and Saber aren't sharing a release date just yet, but did confirm the game won't be out in 2024. We'll see it out eventually on PlayStation 5, Xbox, and PC. Okay, so that little report by Rebecca Valentine was really cool. Now, she is correct. The park simulation games that Jurassic World Evolution makes are very different from the old school games that I grew up loving. Rampage Edition, The Lost World for PlayStation, even Dino Defender on PC, and you could go further with really difficult Super Nintendo games, whether it be the original Jurassic Park or Part 2, The Chaos Continues, Trespasser. I know you guys love Operation Genesis, but you gotta understand, before the park building simulation stuff took off, Jurassic Park was a really fun experience where you were basically just trying to survive on the island, dodging dinosaurs, shooting them if you could, and sometimes that didn't even work, as you can see from me playing Rampage Edition. But yeah, guys, I am extremely excited to see what they do with this video game. Now, I do have a concern. Where do these raptors come from? Like, I gotta be honest with you guys, I don't understand how that's even going to factor in because of what we know about the first movie. The big one killed all the pride except for 2 of the others, so there's only supposed to be 3 full-grown raptors, that little hatchling, and then the babies that were in the wild. My best guess is that these are animals that have been shipped over from Site B, just like the Telltale game. And here's something to think about too. I don't actually think this is gonna happen, but due to the fact that Jurassic Park the game has always been classified as soft canon, which I can't stand that title, just call it something else. Like, I really think there is a possibility, even though I don't think this is going to happen, I do have to acknowledge the theory that maybe this game does adapt some of the stuff from the Telltale game. If the events aren't lining up with it, maybe we will see something that is, in at the very least, a reference to the 2011 video game. Troodon's herrerasaurus designs, maybe? It would be really cool to see the Tylosaurus, but anyways, guys, those are all just my own thoughts and opinions. I'm pretty sure they're shipping over raptors from Site B to make up for the ones the big one killed in Jurassic Park. The game sounds pretty fun. Still no gameplay footage yet. What are all of your thoughts on this new information? Does this make you more excited for the game, or are you kind of bummed out that we won't be getting it until after 2024? Now, whatever your own thoughts and opinions happen to be, I'd love to hear all about them in the comments down below. Now, before I go, I want to thank everyone that's helped me build my channel over the years. I'd also like to thank every one of you guys who've watched my stuff. You've all been extremely cool to me. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like and hope that you'll consider subscribing. God bless you all. Christ is King. See you guys in the next video, and as always, take it easy.